take a look at the last section here of this chapter. I want to understand more about another type of business, manufacturing, which is quite different from service and merchandising because this is the type of business that actually produces, assemble their own product, and then sell it to the consumer. So cost-wise, it's a lot more detailed, a lot more comprehensive than service business and merchandising businesses. So first of all, since they are producing your product, definitely you have to purchase raw materials. So you have raw materials, cost incurred first, then you obviously need to hire people, workers to help you assemble the product, put together everything, then you have finished goods. So this is the general process, okay, very general, and then we're going to break it down to more detailed costing categories. So first of all, we have materials that we have to purchase before we produce the products. After materials, we also need to hire people, we need to purchase equipment, we need to rent a place for the production line. Everything put together, then we have finished goods ready for sale to the customer. Okay, so the differences here is for merchandising companies, we're only taking care of this section. We just directly purchase finished goods from the vendors, from suppliers, and then we just sell it to our customer. For merchandising business, it goes back to raw materials, to people you hire, other machines that you purchased, and then you get finished goods. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the detailed categories in each section here. Before determining cost of goods sold, you first need to know what is the cost incurred for example, materials, labor, indirect materials, indirect labor. Okay, now in managerial accounting, we want to understand more detailed categories of cost, not just a lump sum category cost of goods sold. We trace it back to each cost object. So what cost object refers to is simply product. We trace the cost to the product, and we classify these costs into the ones that are closely related to the product, ones that are less closely related to the product. Okay, so the ones that are easily traceable to a particular product is what we call direct costs category, which then breaks down to direct material, direct labor. Ones that are not as closely linked to the product, although it's still a cost that incurred, it's called indirect cost. And then we break that down into indirect materials, indirect labor. And another term for indirect costs is manufacturing overhead. Okay, so those two terms are used interchangeably. When you see the homework assignments, you see indirect costs, think of it as manufacturing overhead, or vice versa. Right, so what does it mean? So let's say if my company is producing vehicles, bikes, motorcycles, hopefully also cars. Let's say for bikes, what are the things that you would think is direct, that you would think are direct materials for bikes? Wheels, frame, metals, steel, chain, handles, paddles, all these things that actually are physical parts of the product is what we call direct materials. Meaning when you look at the product, those things that you, probably most of the things that you can see by your eye from the product is called direct materials. Okay? Another example, let's say I open up a bakery. I need to hire chefs, baker, but the direct materials that help me fix or actually bake apple pie, cakes, flour, direct materials. Sugar, definitely. Flour, sugar, eggs, it's apple pie, apple, different fruits, blueberries. These are all the direct materials that help me help me produce the actual product, and I can keep in my eyes. So these are direct materials for bakeries. Okay, now what about direct labor? Direct labor refers to labor cost, which means wages, salary. So for vehicle company, manufacturing site, if you hire employees, workers that physically help you to assemble the product, the cost, wages that you're paying them, falls under this category, direct labor. Okay? A bakery will be the baker, chef, only those people that help you produce the product. Okay? Now we're making a very clear cut between inventoriable cost and administrative and selling costs. So here, direct labor, we're not talking about people that you hire to help you sell the product. The people you hire to help you assemble the product. Okay, so those people you hire in administrative offices and selling your product, those fall under operating expenses. Those are period costs. Now we're just focusing on manufacturing costs, inventoriable costs, meaning the costs incurred to help you actually generate and produce the product. Okay, so direct labor only refers to the workers in the manufacturing site, in the factory. Yes?
So specifically you work for a car manufacturing plant and they own the delivery service where they deliver the cars to, like would that be considered direct labor or indirect? If they're not technically making the car?
Delivery will be considered operating expenses then. Okay, so on the sales side, because if you're delivering the products, delivering the materials, then that's considered. If it's materials, it's still considered on the manufacturing side. But if the delivery truck is for products itself, finished goods, for selling purposes, then it falls under operating expenses. Okay? All right, so this is the, yeah.
Can you give an example of the indirect labor?
I'm going to go into this. So the first category I just talked about is direct costs. Those things you can see by your eyes in the product, main parts of it, and the people you hire to help you assemble the product. Indirect costs, indirect materials, let's say you're producing DVDs, CD sets. The case, the actual CD itself, the intellectual property, the singer's work, everything goes into direct materials. The labels could be considered indirect materials. So meaning there's a professional judgment here just to classify them into the ones that are more important than the other costs. Okay, that would be one example. Other, let's say, going back to the bakery example again, indirect materials could be if the customer order a birthday cake. So things you decorate on the birthday cake. It still goes together with a finished product, but compared against flour, eggs, sugar, it's less important, it's more minor. Okay, so here we're just classifying it into main costs and minor costs. Not saying these are not important, they're still part of the product. It's just considered the importance, the relevancy with the product itself. We classify it into direct ones and indirect ones. Okay? Indirect labor, to give you an example, that would be perhaps janitor's salary. The janitor you hire to help you clean up the factory. That can easily be traced to one particular line of business, one particular product, because the manufacturing side is for multiple products. So those janitors' salary, the entire management's salary for the entire plant is considered indirect labor, meaning it cannot be directly traced to one particular product. The salary incurred is for multiple products. They clean up the entire site. Management level, they oversee the entire site. So it's not traceable to one particular cake, one particular bicycle that you produce. Okay? So these are all the costs incurred, and we're just separating them into main and minor. Yes?
Yeah, so is there any actual way to classify indirect materials? Like specific way to separate?
Specific terminology.